Tony, what's the message this week for the guys? Is it, hey, that was a terrific win, but now it's time to kind of move forward and look past it?
Oh, of course, and obviously very excited about the win. Very, very happy for our program. Got to give a big shout out to the fans. You know, they were just as important as everybody on that field. They really showed up and, you know, energized our guys, and they stayed in it the whole game. But, you know, there's a lot of mistakes too that we made in that game that could have cost us the game. So that's been the biggest. That's going to be the biggest focus when we get back together as an offense today and start on the plan for Boston College. Is now you see what we're capable of. But obviously we got some areas to improve. Definitely things in every aspect, from the run game to the passing game, timing. You know, pass protection was good overall, but still some things to clean up. So it's a big shot of confidence, but also it's a humbling experience too, because we did make some mistakes that could have cost us the game.
Do you think that the experience that you guys take from Notre Dame last year, big win, moving forward, you know, kind of buckling down and moving on, can that help this year too?
You know, I think so, but it just goes back to what is the foundation of our program. Is the most important game on the schedule is the game that you're playing. So, yes, we celebrated that win in the locker room, but it was a quick turnaround. We were right back on the practice field. I really liked the demeanor. You know, it looked like the guys had flushed it, and they were focused on getting back to work, because I think, you know, for us offensively, we felt like we had an opportunity to be one of the best offenses in the country. You know, we got off to an up and down start in the first couple games, but hopefully our rhythm is starting to really kick in both the run game and the pass game. So I think the guys are excited to get back to work, and they know too that, you know, Boston College, you know, you can't look at the records, you can't look at anything other than they're going to be very, very good on defense, and we had to throw the ball a lot to beat them last year, and obviously we want to get back to being able to be balanced running the ball and throwing the ball. So I think they're focused on the challenge of playing another top-ranked defense in Boston College.
After looking at film, graded well on the offensive line, and what were some of the things that you saw that really opened up some running lanes for Wayne and Deshaun?
You know, I think it was consistent with what we saw at Auburn and even in the Georgia Tech game. And I thought that the front side double teams on a lot of our inside zones were there. And I thought what you saw at Wayne is you just saw Wayne taking the base hit. I think that there were some instances, you know, early on where he was just trying to hit the home run, and he got back to being Wayne Gallman in the Wayne train. And he was taking the dirty yards, and you saw him taking those 3- and 4-yard gains. And the next thing you know, he's patient, he's chasing that center, and we popped one for about 25 for a touchdown. So, you know, I thought that the communication was good. You know, the guys really controlled the line of scrimmage. You know, they were creating some movement on the different schemes that we were running. So I think it finally just came together where Wayne was trusting it up front. He was pressing it. You know, he was disciplined with his eyes. And, you know, he was focused on taking the base hits, and some of the home runs came.
What is getting to 200 yards rushing do for the entire offense, getting back to that number that you can get?
You know, I think, I don't know if it's as much as the number as it is the efficiency, you know, in terms of running the football. I think anytime you can run the football, it sets up your play actions. You know, you can stay balanced and you can stay ahead of the chains. You know, obviously we weren't great in 3rd and long, but we only had 3 situations where we were in 3rd and long. So it keeps us out of 3rd and long situations where we can run the ball, and then now we can mix it up on 1st and 2nd down, run the pass. So it just gives you a lot of options. And I think, you know, psychologically, our guys believe in that number of 200 yards plus, and so I think it was good for them to verse a top-ranked defense in Louisville, you know, at home in prime time, to be able to accomplish that.
Ball security will be the 2 words. First off, though, your running backs do not have that problem.
You know, it's knock on wood, and hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. But you know, it's just ball security is something we stress all the time, and obviously we're not going to panic, but we're also going to continue to go back and evaluate every position and making sure that we're doing the drill work that's appropriate with it. You know, my guys are used to carrying that ball all the time, in traffic, in contact, and the couple of fumbles that we saw, you know, Deshaun had a great run, but he's in traffic, and it's hard to put him in those situations in practice to where he's getting hit, to falling with the ball. So we just got to continue to stress the little things with him, and then Leggett was a function of a guy that you don't see. We talk about all the time in ball security. Most times it's the guy that you don't see. So he's focused on the safety, and the guy hits him. So, you know, there's some small things fundamentally that we can continue to stress and work on. But, you know, the interception, one throw was inside by Deshaun. The other one was a tip ball, and then Dion was kind of stumbling, you know, right there at the tip of his route, and let the DB get over the top of him. Deshaun threw the ball where it was supposed to be. So, you know, it's just a thing here and there that we got to clean up. We're not going to panic, but definitely going to stress it.
The end zone pick, and then Deshaun fighting for yards, which was right after the yards. Does Deshaun need to be more careful with the ball in this situation?
You know, I think that more so, I wouldn't say the throw was inside. That's just a missed throw inside. You know, I don't think he was trying to force that ball inside. I think also, too, you got to look at the receiver was a little bit short on the route, so he got there quicker, so the timing was off some. In traffic, you know, we just got to teach him that when you're in that situation, you know, you're fighting for extra yards. The biggest thing is put 2 hands on the ball and go down.
We've all seen the great things Deshaun's done the last couple of years. But now seeing him, direct a game-winning drive, can you talk about that? And maybe does that kind of show what this guy has up here that a lot of guys don't?
Oh, of course. I think that we're caught up a little bit on last year because he played spectacular, and there's been a couple games where he might not have been his best. But we've never felt like he's just played bad. There's been some situations where he could have made a better throw. But really proud of his decision making in this game. I think that's a lot of times people that are on the outside looking in, they don't understand the concepts, the situations in the game. But he did a really, really good job from a mental standpoint of controlling the game and making the right decisions. Now physically we missed a couple throws, but he just has a mental toughness. He prepares like a coach. He understands the game plan in and out, and that just gives him the confidence to go out in those situations, not just the game-winning drive, but then also the 2-minute drive before half, which was huge.
You evaluated that last drive, the 4 for 5, 74 yards. Can you talk to me about those plays and his decision-making there?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he knew what we were trying to get accomplished. He made the right decisions. And then one of the biggest plays I think is going to go unnoticed, and I just want to give this young man a shout-out, was the play that Travion Thompson made, on that 2nd and 10 when we had a little bit of pressure inside. We had a little bit of a hurry by the center, and Deshaun had to flush to the left. And that's the same play that we didn't make. Travion didn't make versus Auburn. He comes back and he makes it, in this game. So that was probably the biggest play of that drive, that 2nd and 10, because we were looking at a 3rd and 10 if we don't complete that pass. But Deshaun was just locked in, dialed in. You saw that even though he might have missed a couple throws early on, it was just like Boston College. He looked at himself, he evaluated his fundamentals, and he just kept playing.
Are Deshaun and Mike at times still not on the same page? There's been a few miscommunications each of the last few weeks.
I think the deal at Georgia Tech was more of a miscommunication, not being on the same page. The one down in the end zone was just more of a function of, with press coverage. And anytime as a receiver you got press coverage, obviously your clock speeds up, and then the ball was just thrown a little bit inside.
How much does a win like Saturday's, how much do you think that helps you build momentum and confidence in the team?
I think it does, because obviously it was, the biggest game on the schedule, but it was a big game, and that's why these young men come to Clemson and have an opportunity to play in big games like that, and to be able to win and perform. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, at times, but to show your fans and show everybody in the country, what the heart of this team is. I think that just, validates to them, because those guys go out and they work every single day. Every single day they work, and our mentality is, today's Monday, you work like it's a Monday, you work like it's a Tuesday, but at the end of the day, they do need to see themselves having success. So I think it was a big confidence booster going down the stretch for us, and then also too gives us confidence that as we approach each game, because now it's a 1-game season. Basically every game on the schedule is the most important game, so it just gives them that confidence to raise their level of preparation and also their level of execution each game.
Last year, Boston College defense, I think it was number 1. Played them and carved them up pretty good. This year, they're pretty good again. What are the similarities or differences you see from last year to this year?
What you respect about those guys up there is, man, those guys are hard-nosed. They're tough. They're fundamentally sound, just like they were last year. New defensive coordinator, so a couple of different schemes. That guy went on to Michigan and used to the success they're having. But they're fundamentally sound. They're very, very stout inside. Their linebackers are instinctual. They can run. They play you bump and run on the perimeter, so they're making you throw and catch with precision. So they're going to challenge us. And we did have a good yardage output versus those guys last year, but we didn't run the ball the way that we wanted to, so that's going to be a big challenge. Hey, let's stay balanced, and just like the question before, anytime that we can, push those rushing numbers up, it helps us.
Tony, is this a week too where you as coaches maybe on a little bit higher alert than even, I know what the culture is up here and what you stress, but maybe some of the young guys thinking, hey, we've got a clear path now, and we don't really have to work as hard as we have to. Are you guys on a little extra alert this week for any of that?
I wouldn't say we're on alert, because we understand that coming into the season that we had to embrace the target. Every single game that we played, people are going to give us their best, and so we're learning how to embrace that target. So I think with every week that goes by, we gain more and more confidence and understanding of what it takes day in and day out to be the hunted. I think sometimes it's easier to prepare when you're hunting somebody else because you got that motivation. But the biggest thing for us is just staying consistent in our mode of preparation day in and day out.
About this team on Saturday, so he already kind of knew what this team was about. But what did you see from your team? You talked about the heart of this team. So what did you learn Saturday night?
I think this is a special football team, and we got a bunch of special young men that are about the right things. and they had a decision to make. And I said this after the game, and actually we were challenged in chapel service prior to the game that there's going to be a decision that you're going to have to make at some point in this game whether or not you're going to accept defeat. And if you accept defeat, then you're going to lose. If you do not accept defeat and you continue to fight, then you'll come out with the win. And that's what we saw, that these guys have a heart of a champion, and they validate it every day by the way that they work. Now we still got some things to clean up execution-wise, and I know there's a lot of expectation. Everything needs to look perfect, but at the end of the day, we got a group of winners that are going to fight till the last second goes off the clock, and they believe in the program, they believe in what we stand for, and they love each other.
All coaches kind of preach the week by week, every game's the biggest game, but you guys have had so few letdowns. How have you guys kind of delivered that message? Have you delivered it any differently, or why does it seem to resonate so well here?
I think just every day Coach Sweeney reinforces the culture of the program, that there's no entitlement. You're going to get what you earn, and then just making sure that guys play to the standard. And if they don't play to the standard, then the next guy gets an opportunity. So I think it stems from just the culture of there's no entitlement, and that you're going to work for everything that you get. So these guys got to work on the practice field every single day to have an opportunity to get on the game field. So I think it's just a combination of how Coach Sweeney day in and day out reminds them of who we are, what we're about, what this program was built on. And they got to go out and play to that standard every day.
Was there a reluctance to give Tavian some carries on Saturday just because of the nature of the game and the situation, how much pressure was in that situation? Do you hope to work him into the Boston College game more?
Definitely want to work him in where possible, but Taven's in a tough situation. There's 5 guys in that room, and there's 5 guys deserving of carries. And the game was kind of funny too. We didn't have as many plays as we're used to, and Wayne had the hot hand. When it's hard to take Wayne out, it was he was focused. He had a look in his eye, and he was ready to go. Choice got in there a little bit, but Wayne was just playing at a high level. And then we scored so quickly, and so it wasn't a situation where Wayne was gassed, where we needed to roll guys. I want to get Taven in there, get him some experience. Now he's got to earn it every day on the practice field, and if he comes out at the end of the week practicing and playing better than the guys in front of him, he'll get an opportunity.
Was it difficult for you as an offensive coordinator sitting there in a game where you guys love, as you just mentioned, to run a ton of plays, having to sit there and watch another team run 30-plus plays more than you guys did?
I don't know if it was a function of play count. The second quarter, the guys really came alive, and we had some big explosive drives, like 2-play drives, 3-play drives, and we're in the end zone. So really, it was just staying focused on the game plan and figuring out what's the next move, because we knew that we were playing against a great football team on defense and a great football team on offense. It was very explosive, that could match us score for score in every situation. So I don't know if it was a situation of play count as much as, okay, let's get the next series planned so that we can go out and every time we step on the field, let's come away with points.
Tony, how do you account for that third quarter? Were you guys, was it what Louisville did, or was it you guys being maybe just a little sluggish after taking a big lead into the locker room?
I think that we came out in that first drive, and I believe that was the interception drive. We had a good call. I think it was open, and Ray just, trying to make the play before it happened. You see, if you watch it on tape, he kind of took his eyes off the ball at the last second, trying to see where the defender was so he could hit the ground and make a play afterward. And the next thing you know, instead of it being an incomplete, it's an interception. And then we come out and we start to move the ball, and then we're about to score potentially some kind of points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. We fumble the ball on the 5-yard line, 6-yard line. So, I don't know if it was as much sluggish as, just the flow of the game. We had that critical mistake, them 2 critical mistakes that we couldn't overcome, and we didn't have as many opportunities in that third quarter as we did in the fourth.
Friday night game, how does that feel for you? Does it feel like a Saturday morning game maybe, or does it feel like a Thursday game?
All I know is the last about 3 weeks have been crazy for me from a schedule standpoint, from a Thursday night game to now a Friday night game. I don't know how I feel about that, other than I'll know once I get to Friday it might feel a little bit different. I know that in terms of the preparation, we got the same amount of time when we use Sunday as Monday. So today is Tuesday on Monday for us. So we're going to have a good hard practice, and I really haven't thought about it other than just trying to rebound from the late night, the early morning practice yesterday, just making sure that we're also balancing too, that obviously we gotta work as hard as we possibly can, but we also got to make sure we're maintaining our rest too, because tired decisions don't always make for the best decisions.
Does it help at all for you guys, the fact, do you use it at all that you'll be on national TV, pretty much the only game that night, or you guys have just played so many of these games that it really doesn't matter. I didn't know if that might help in an atmosphere like Boston.
You know, I think it just goes back to playing to the standard. You know, I think our guys understand that best is the standard, and Coach challenges them all the time. And it goes back to the question you asked before about how do we, you know, avoid letdowns whenever we can. Is that average is not the standard, good is not the standard. So it doesn't matter where we play, who we play, when we play. You know, we got to play to the standard, which is the best. So, but it's good to have an opportunity for guys because they always want exposure nationally for guys to see them play. But you know, that won't be as much a motivation factor as it is. Hey, this is the most important game on the season. Doesn't matter where we play, who we play, best is the standard. We got to play to that standard.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Coach.
no problem.
You also get Saturday off.
Sir,
You also get Saturday off.
there's never a day
Go
off.
eat.